Derek married Gloria behind my back. They never filed a legal marriage license, but they threw a full-blown wedding. The whole family kept it from me, dressing up in their festive best to sip the celebration wine. They rode off beaming, cooing over Gloria and Lily, boasting that Derek really knew how to land on his feet. On the drive home, drunk on the interstate, they slammed into a DUI crash. Eleanor and Daisy were left vegetative. Derek was pronounced dead at the scene. Gloria showed up at my door with the kid, demanding half the estate. Ridiculous, I'm the sole beneficiary on every insurance policy. Derek had been cheating on me in secret all along. Even while cheating, he still played the devoted family man to perfection. If I wanted cake, he left the office the second I asked and carried it home. When Nathan latched onto a new toy, no matter the price, Derek bought it. My wife and Nathan are the two most important people in my world. He would fold us into his arms, announcing his happiness to anyone listening. When parents fell ill, he was first to the barricades, camping at Riverdale for nights on end. Parents praised him, saying even a blood son might not match Derek's devotion. So I trusted him 100%. I believed if every man on earth strayed, Derek would still stay true. Reality slapped that faith out of me. By our second anniversary, he'd already hidden Gloria in a rented country cottage. If Gloria hadn't mailed me that photograph, I might still be in the dark. In the shot, Derek and Gloria stood shoulder to shoulder, a little girl cradled between them, barely a year younger than Nathan. Dawn hadn't broken. I clutched the phone, hands like ice, body shaking. 6 months pregnant with our second, I could hardly roll out of bed. I glanced at Derek's empty side, lips pressed tight, mind racing. He'd been on a business trip 4 days. Every night he rang to check on the baby, on me, tenderness dripping. Then, past midnight, his number delivered a trio selfie. Deleted seconds later, but I'd seen every pixel. Derek, the woman tucked against him, both holding the same child. A perfect little family of 3. I never closed my eyes again. Soon, muffled rustling drifted in from the living room. "Mom, this gown's too tight, help me with the zipper." "Oh dear, I haven't gotten into my own cheapow yet, hold on." Eleanor and Daisy, whispering conspirators. They thought the house asleep. Too quiet, their hushed words carried straight to my ears. I struggled upright and checked the screen, 4:50 a.m. Why the pre-dawn pageant? Thirsty, I slid my feet toward the slippers. Daisy's caution floated back, "Keep it down, Mom. Don't let Serena hear." I stepped into the corridor. Eleanor and Daisy were indeed changing in the living room, twirling before the full-length mirror I kept there for last-minute outfit checks. Eleanor wore a burgundy cheapow, formal as a state dinner. Daisy floated in pink tulle, bridesmaid ready. I cleared my throat. "Mom, Daisy, where are you off to this early?" They jumped, guilt flashing between them. I smiled faintly. "And why shouldn't I hear?" Eleanor's gaze skittered away. Daisy recovered first, loud and bright, "You misheard, sis-in-law. I just didn't want Mom to wake you." "Right, Mom?" Eleanor nodded fast. Daisy filled the silence. Distant cousins tying the knot way out in the sticks. "Long drive, so we're sneaking out. Didn't want to bother you." Her smile dripped concern. "Ah." I nodded, as if satisfied. Then I remembered. "Wait, Daisy." Back in the bedroom, I fetched my favorite brooch and pinned it to her dress. Daisy's eyes sparkled. "Wow, Serena, your prized brooch? It matches your outfit, looks expensive." She thanked me, I waved it off. I watched them leave, calling, "Drive safe." The instant the door clicked, I hurried to the bedroom and opened the security app. Daisy thought the jewel was merely jewelry. She didn't know I'd embedded a pinhole lens. A work gadget, now a perfect spy. Before I could hit play, Nathan moaned. I rushed over, his cheeks blazed. Thermometer, 102F. I yanked out my phone, mind sprinting. Eleanor and Daisy couldn't be far. 2 cars in the driveway, Derek had taken one, so the women must have claimed the other. I speed dialed Daisy. Rang twice, dumped to voicemail. Was she behind the wheel? Couldn't pick up? I tried another number and called Eleanor. It rang straight to voicemail every time. Nathan's cheeks were scarlet, his eyes glassy, and the sight broke my heart. His medical history wasn't ordinary. A past febrile seizure had made the pediatrician warn us, keep every fever away or risk his life. I had no choice. I dialed Derek. He was only an hour away on business, close enough to drive home and still get back before lunch. It wasn't even 5 in the morning. If I rushed Nathan to the hospital, Derek could meet us and still return to his meetings. Derek let it ring dead too. It felt like a bucket of ice water dumped over my head. But a sick child can't wait. 6 months pregnant, clumsy and breathless, I couldn't lift Nathan myself. I fumbled him into clothes and knocked on the neighbor's door. Big Derek, could you carry him to the car for me? Neighbor Derek hailed a ride, buckled Nathan in, and waved the driver off. Thank you. I was beyond grateful. He gave a distracted wave, then glanced behind me. You're alone? Honey, with that belly you shouldn't be wrestling through an ER. Where's your Derek? Big Derek was a man of few words, but his kindness ran deep. When he heard Derek was out of town, he didn't even grab a jacket, just climbed in beside me and rode to Riverdale. The news was grim. Nathan needed to be admitted for observation. My heart turned to stone. I pictured every worst-case scenario and, helpless, began to sob. There I sat, hugely pregnant, crying on a hospital corridor bench while strangers streamed past. A kind older woman stopped. Sweetheart, isn't family coming? I shook my head. Nearby relatives of other patients whispered loud enough for me to hear. Her Derek's a piece of work, wife this pregnant, kid burning up, and he can't show? If I had a man like that, I'd rather die single, certainly wouldn't give him a second baby. She's a warrior, all right. The comments slid into my ears like needles. Big Derek came back with a paper cup of water. Drink. Breathe. He'll be okay. I sniffled. Thanks, Big Derek. I've ruined your morning. Don't worry about me. Before he left he added, times like this, you need to ring Derek again. Work can wait, family can't. His words echoed long after he disappeared down the hall. I called Derek once more. This time he picked up. Hey, babe? Background noise swelled, laughs, clinking glassware. How could it be so lively at 6 a.m.? Where are you? I blurted. A beat of silence. Helping a friend, he said. I missed your earlier calls, what's wrong? What kind of help? I pressed. He gave a soft laugh. You sound shaken. Talk to me. Another dodge, the hairs on my neck rose. Nathan's fever spiked. It's serious. Can you come? I fought to stay calm, but my voice cracked on the last word. Before, he would have dropped anything. Now, only silence answered. Babe, I really can't leave. How about I ring Daisy? She can sit with you. A woman's voice floated in, then the line went dead. I stared at the screen, pulse hammering. She had started to say, Derek, you promised Lily. We had only Nathan and the baby inside me. That child was his. Remembering Derek's promise to call Daisy, I opened our home security app. Sure enough, his incoming call lit up her dashboard. His request was simple, swing by the hospital and keep Serena company. Daisy's reply rang out, sharp and clear. Are you nuts, Derek? Mom and I are on our way to your wedding. We can't babysit your wife. Besides, Serena's dramatic. It's just a fever, hardly 911 material. She sounded like a scorned woman, venom dripping. Nothing like the sweet, harmless sister-in-law who smiled to my face. Daisy killed the call, then crooned to the little girl strapped in back. Lily, your daddy's impossible. He finally sneaks off to marry your mom, and that woman still yanks his leash. Poor Gloria. I felt the corridor tilt. Wedding? So Daisy and Eleanor were headed to Derek's wedding. Lily, Gloria's Lily. Everyone had known, Derek kept Gloria, fathered Lily, and now, while Nathan fought for breath and I sat pregnant and alone, the whole clan was driving to watch Derek marry her. I laughed, an empty, cracked sound, until tears blurred the world. A small girl nearby clutched her mother's leg and stared as if I were a ghost. He stretched his neck again and pointed at me. Mom, look at that lady, why is she crying and laughing at the same time? The woman hugged her child and hurried away. Come on, don't engage the lunatic. My phone screen stayed lit the whole time. Daisy could never have guessed that the brooch on her chest was broadcasting the scene live. They got off the bus moments later. Derek and Gloria stepped forward together, greeting them warmly. Mom, Daisy, thanks for making the trip. Gloria acted every inch Derek's wife. She greeted Eleanor and Daisy with overflowing enthusiasm. Shameless. From their chatter on the ride, I'd already pieced together the gist. Gloria refused to stay a ghost forever. Since I'd been born in the city, married in the city, and almost never went back to the countryside, Eleanor had dreamed up a neat fix: let Gloria hold a village wedding. No legal marriage license, but at least the woman got a show. Derek had actually agreed. Gloria kept hovering in front of Daisy, fawning and chatting her up, desperate to win the kid sister vote. Her entire face filled my lens. I stared blankly, the corner of my mouth twitching. Speechless. I'd figured that if Derek was cheating, he'd at least pick a beauty, someone prettier than me. The woman on my screen. Practically a senior citizen. If I passed her on the street, I'd have called her ma'am. This was Derek's taste? Then I remembered his mild mother complex. I'd thought the little dependency he showed me was normal. Turns out he'd settle for anything warm. They were still chatting when Derek walked over, smiling. Come on, seat the relatives, the ceremony's about to start. I didn't blink as I tracked Derek, my Derek who shared my bed every night. Right now his eyes held only Gloria, brimming with tenderness. I froze, watching him, feeling 10,000 ants gnaw my heart. My chest caved, I couldn't breathe. So that look wasn't reserved for me. That warmth wasn't mine alone. He could whisper love to my face, sleep with another woman, father her child, and still stage a wedding behind my back. The ceremony began quickly. Even through the phone I could taste the festive buzz. Daisy must have been in the front row. The camera caught Derek and Gloria on the platform, both beaming. The officiator cranked up the mood and ordered the kiss. I glared at the screen, eyes blood red. Derek smiled, turned, slid an arm around Gloria's waist, and bent in gently. Amid cheers they locked lips, twisting, unwilling to part, then folded into an embrace. Tears streamed down my face. I frantically screenshot the frozen moments, then killed the screen. Whatever happened next was none of my concern. This marriage was over. I sat in the corridor for a long time. Nathan was still in danger. Helpless, I speed-dialed my mom. Mom, can you come to the hospital? Nathan's burning up, really bad. I couldn't finish. I burst into loud sobs. She promised to grab a cab right away. I went to the restroom. Splashed water on my face. When Mom arrived, she couldn't see me looking this wrecked. In the mirror my eyes were hollow. Pregnancy had already puffed me up and drained my color, now I looked worse. A bitter smile pulled up my lips. Turning to leave, my mind elsewhere, I missed the puddle underfoot. I crashed hard. Panic stabbed me, I clutched my belly. A searing pain shot up from below. Blood began running down my legs. Help, somebody. When my mother got there, I was already being wheeled into surgery. A nurse had found me in the restroom and raised the alarm. They rushed me to ER, the news was grim. The fall had hit the wrong place. No fetal heartbeat. An emergency delivery was the only option. Mom paced the corridor, frantic. Making her worry at her age, I hated myself. She signed consent through steady tears. Serena, my poor girl. Hours later, when they rolled me out, her eyes were swollen. She hurried over, checking every inch of me. How are you, Serena? You've suffered. I shook my head. Nathan? She pointed to the next room. He's stable, just 4 fluids. Relief flooded me. If Nathan was okay, nothing else mattered. Mom stayed by my side, dabbing her eyes with her sleeve. 6 months, such a loss. Where on earth is Derek? You're this pregnant and he's not here. At his name my throat closed. My chest tightened until it hurt. Images of Derek and Gloria kissing at their country wedding flashed through me, disgusting. Mom, I guess the baby just wasn't meant to be. No fate. Maybe the child knew life with us would be misery. I sighed and shook my head. Mom's face darkened. That boy, he's got someone else, doesn't he? I nodded. A bitter laugh escaped. The whole family's in the countryside today, attending the wedding. Mom froze. What wedding? Derek's wedding to the woman he kept on the side. My mother was furious. She wanted to march over and confront his family, but I stopped her. Mom, there's no need. I'm already planning to divorce him. She studied me with pity for a long moment, finally let out a soft sigh, and chose to stand by me. After Nathan's fever broke and we picked up his prescriptions, Mom came home with us. The house felt hollow. Night was closing in and they still weren't back. After supper, Mom kept Nathan busy while I started sorting the savings and assets we'd accumulated over the years. The first thing I found was the deed to the marital mansion. When we'd first bought it, parents had offered the down payment, but Derek flatly refused, insisting the money would be a loan. He worked hard and excelled, quickly earning promotions and salary hikes. In less than 2 years he'd paid parents back every cent. My father praised him for it, calling him responsible, dependable, a man who could weather any test. Eleanor and Daisy had complained the countryside was too hot. Under the excuse of a sightseeing trip, they came to stay at the mansion for a few days and ended up camping for over a month. Anyway, I hadn't put much into the house, so I'd wait for Derek to get back and see how we'd divide it. Next were the savings we'd stacked together in one passbook and one debit card, including Nathan's college fund. With my economics degree, I handled our investments and budgeting, so this turf was clearer to me than to Derek. I was deep in columns of figures when my phone rang. Hello, this is the police. Are you Derek's family? My heart lurched. The calculator slipped from my hand and clacked on the floor. A crash? The words sounded unreal, as if I were dreaming. The day had turned surreal. The officer's answer was blunt. Yes, around 5:20 p.m. on the interstate. Your husband died in a DUI crash, the other 2 passengers are critically injured. I stood frozen long after the call ended. Derek was dead. My gaze fell on the spreadsheet I'd been working on. No need to divide anything now, there was no one left to divide it with. I didn't reach the hospital until the next day. An officer handed me a cardboard box of Derek's effects. The 2 women inside are most likely your Eleanor and Daisy, their outlook isn't good. If they don't regain consciousness soon, doctors say they could become vegetative. My reactions felt sluggish. The officer gave me a sympathetic nod. I'm sorry for your loss. After he left, I stepped in to see Eleanor and Daisy. For some reason, beyond the sorrow, a tangle of other feelings churned inside me. My baby had just died with my miscarriage. Had they not driven off to Derek and Gloria's secret ceremony, this tragedy might never have happened. But if is a word the world doesn't honor. Neighbors and relatives, none of them knowing the full story, showed up with gifts and casseroles. Their eyes dripped pity. I caught the whispers behind my back. Poor Serena. Such a perfect family, and now she's a widow overnight. They say the shock made her lose the baby too. Oh no, when it rains, it pours. To them I was the picture of misfortune. But behind closed doors I pulled out the insurance policies I'd bought for Derek and Eleanor over the years. My economics background had made me obsessive about coverage, medical, life, accident, every rider in place. Buy all the insurance you need and you can stop hoarding cash, I used to say. Now the morbid math paid off. The wreck had totaled the car. Between auto coverage, life insurance payout, and accident payout, the numbers stacked into 7 figures. When I finished adding, I stared at the total. So this was how you struck it rich, by letting Derek die. I moved fast. Cremation, by the burial plot, settle the claims. As for Eleanor, I'd never had a legal duty to support her. Daisy was even less my responsibility. I rang Franklin and told him to come get them, keep treating them or take them home, his choice. Franklin's face chilled over the line. He jabbed a finger toward me, even over the phone I could feel it. Serena, where's your conscience? That's your Eleanor and Daisy in there, and you won't spend a dime? I'd meant to leave him some dignity, but since he asked, I let out a cold laugh. Franklin, you know better than anyone back home, you've had more than one daughter-in-law, haven't you? His eyes flickered, hunting for an escape. I poured fuel on the fire. The day I miscarried you threw Derek and Gloria a lovely little wedding. You stopped counting me as family long ago. I didn't slap him with a bigamy suit only out of nostalgia. Neighbors and kin gawked and murmured. Franklin looked ready to melt into the floor. I walked out of the hospital, free of the whole rotten lot. The day the payout landed, I took Nathan to KFC. When he'd polished off his last chicken tender, he asked, Mom, where's Dad? I told him Daddy had gone on a business trip, far away, a very long one. Nathan's face drooped. Looking at him, I knew the excuse wouldn't hold forever. We'd bought the marital mansion back then purely for the commute. I was still working and not yet pregnant. But now Derek was gone and so was my job, and staying in this house only churned up heartburn. So I decided to sell the place. Unload it, take the cash, move somewhere better, put Nathan in a top-tier school. That was the responsibility I owed him. I called Mom, and she was all for it. The sale moved faster than I expected. Several serious buyers came for walkthroughs. One couple fell in love with the place. We were a signature away from a deal. Then Gloria showed up with Lily in tow. She stormed through the door like a fishwife, screaming until the buyers bolted. Next she flung herself on the hardwood and refused to budge. I let my voice go ice cold. Keep it up and I'll call the police. Gloria's face was a roadmap of wrinkles. She shot me a sideways glare and snorted. Don't try to scare me with cops. I'm Derek's woman, and this child is his flesh and blood daughter. We had a wedding of our own. I know he died on the interstate and the insurance company paid out a fortune. I gave a thin laugh, so the money was the magnet. I said nothing, just watched her. She was a one-woman circus sprawling across my living room rug, and I was the only audience. Calmly I pulled out my phone and hit record. Lily wailed in terror. Gloria couldn't have cared less. She stayed locked on me. Give me half of that money today or I swear I'm camping here. I laughed once more and reached for the broom. If every deadbeat got her way, why would we even need police? I swung the broom like a battering ram, hurting her toward the threshold. Besides, who exactly are you? My husband is dead, and the insurance policy lists exactly one beneficiary, me. I shoved Gloria over the welcome mat. She still clung to the doorframe, knuckles white. Don't think your pretty little boy Nathan protects you. You've got proof? I've got better. She yanked out her phone and cued an audio clip, then a video. The audio was Derek, drunk, slurring promises. Gloria, relax, I'll never leave you and Lily hanging. Wherever I am, I'll take care of both of you. Gloria smirked like a cat with feathers on its breath. Then she played the video, footage I already owned of their backyard vow swap. I didn't even bother to look. Instead, I speed dialed building security. There's a trespasser disturbing residents. Gloria saw I wasn't bluffing and her face clouded over. Her eyes pinned me. Serena, we were both Derek's wives, the payout belongs to us 50-50. All you've got on me is one extra sheet of paper called a legal marriage license. She said it with straight-faced sincerity. I almost laughed myself lightheaded. Honey, crack open a law book, this isn't about one extra sheet of paper. I can have Derek charged with bigamy, your little ceremony never counted. You're just the mistress he kept off the books. Plus, every dollar he funneled your way came out of our joint account. I can claw it all back if I choose. The moment the words landed, Gloria's skin turned the color of wet ash. Maybe it was the honey, maybe the reality check. You little bitch, you lied to me. She lunged, fingers aimed at my hair, ready for a catfight. Before she could touch me, security and the super burst through the door. What do you think you're doing? They hauled her out, child and all. On their way they apologized to me. Sorry, ma'am, we let our guard down. We won't let her near the property again. I watched until the elevator door swallowed her. Quiet at last. Inside the week I wrapped things up with a second buyer and closed. I transferred Nathan to the best elementary in the county. With what was left I bought a cozy 2-bedroom, plenty for the two of us. Most of the proceeds went into index funds, and a slice seeded a small business I knew inside out. Nathan and I settled into a calm, happy rhythm. Weeks later Gloria unearthed my new number. She switched phones daily, calling to demand half of every payout or else she'd make me sorry. I simply boxed up the voicemails, screenshots, and video and hand-delivered them to the precinct. The calls stopped cold. Nathan grew older and wiser. One afternoon I picked him up late and found a knot of kids taunting him for having no dad. He didn't flinch, he filleted them with facts until their faces turned crimson. Mom keeps telling me to remarry, each time I shake my head. I've clawed back the freedom I had before marriage. I'm too busy savoring it to give it away again. In the beginning I thought widowhood was the end of the world. But look how the road bent, maybe it was heaven's gift wrapped in black ribbon. Thanks for listening to my story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you liked this video, hit like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your take in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. See you next time.